Hello everybody. Today I am going to start yet another session in the subject of engineering mechanics. Now, presently we are dealing with this chapter of centroids. In centroids, we have done some problems about rectangles, some triangles, and combination of rectangles, triangles. Initially, we have derived the concept of centroids from the concept of center of gravity. That is, for a body, a three-dimensional solid body, the weight acts through one single point. The entire weight of the body is assumed to be acting along a single point. That point we call it as center of gravity. So, by using the concept of center of gravity, for plane figures, we can reduce the three-dimensional body to a two-dimensional plane figure. Therefore, if for center of gravity, the Verinon's theorem, according to Verinon's theorem, entire weight into the centroid distance of that entire body is equal to weight of each component into the distance of their centroids from any reference axis. Therefore, we can say W into X is equal to W1 x1 plus W2 x2 plus W3 x3 so on. Therefore, the unknown quantity center of gravity X is equal to sigma Wx by sigma Wa. For centroids, we can reduce that W weight into area because the unit weight will be same and the thickness will, if same, then the weight can be reduced to area. Therefore, now our formula becomes X is equal to sigma Ax by sigma A, Y is equal to sigma Ay by sigma A. That is why here X is equal to sigma Ax by sigma A, that is moment of areas of individual components by total area. Similarly, in y direction is equal to moment of area in y direction of all the components, that is sigma Ay by sigma A. This is the basic concept for finding the centroid of a plane figure. That plane figure may be a combination of rectangles, triangles, or many other shapes. Generally, we take some standard cases, that is triangles, rectangles, circles, quadrants, semicircles, etc. So, the basic concept is we will find the moment of areas of entire strips and we sum them or integrate them and find the moment areas of entire body, and knowing the total area of the body, we will find out y is equal to or m is equal to ay, that is bd into y is one equation. The other equation will be moment of all the strips will be bd square by 2. Therefore, the unknown quantity y will become d by 2. Similarly, on the other direction, if we take the strip, then we will get x is equal to b by 2. Therefore, x is equal to b by 2 and y is equal to b by 2 we derive for rectangles. So, if we see, there is also some concept called as symmetry. Symmetry is any axis or line which divides the body into, which divides the area. Here we say it is a plane area. We are dealing with only plane areas. So, any axis which divides the plane area into two equal halves, then that axis is called the axis of symmetry. So, the centroid will lie on the axis of symmetry always. Here, in the case of this L section, angle section, there is no line which can divide this angle into symmetrical sections. Therefore, here centroid cannot be found out by simple observation. That is, by drawing the symmetrical axis, we cannot find out the centroid. In this case of T section, there is one axis that is along that is y axis. It is dividing the T into two equal halves. Then along, therefore, the x bar should be equal to the distance of centroidal axis, that is the symmetrical axis. In case of a rectangle, we can see that is rectangle is two axes are there. One is this y axis which is dividing into b by 2 and b by 2, and this x axis which is dividing this rectangle into d by 2 and d by 2. Therefore, the centroid lies at d by 2 and d by 2. So this property we can use while finding out the centroid of a symmetrical body. So before jumping into solution, simply by observation we can, if we have any symmetrical axis, we can assume that the centroid is on the axis which is symmetrical. Similarly, centroid of the triangle is also found by taking a strip parallel to the base and summing such strips. Summation of that strips will give you the moment of areas of those strips in in y direction. So therefore, all the summation of all strips will give you b into y square by 2 minus y cube by 3h. So knowing the area of the triangle and unknown y, that is y is equal to bh by 2 into y, therefore y will become h by 3. That is, by solving the moment of areas of entire triangle and strips of the triangle, we will find y is equal to h by 3. Since there is no other base here, we cannot find d by 3. That is, since base is here, perpendicular to that base, the perpendicular distance will be there. Therefore, y can be found out in this case, but not x. X we have to take, suppose if we drop a perpendicular from apex, then two triangles will be there and we can find out the x bar. So we have considered three cases like this. Here some irregular triangle which has base b and height h. In that case, the y is h by 3 because it is the axis will be parallel to b. Similarly, in the second case, b and h are perpendicular to each other. Therefore, there are two axes which are perpendicular. So we can find out h by x is equal to b by 3 and y is equal to h by 3. In case of symmetrical or isosceles triangle, then there is an axis which is dividing this triangle into two equal halves. Therefore, whenever there is symmetrical axis, the centroid lies on that symmetrical axis. Therefore, x lies on this symmetrical axis, that is b by 2. So x will be b by 2 and y will be h by 3. These conditions we have seen. We have to keep it in mind that these three possibilities are there. Therefore, we have to see what is the possibility. And also we have to remember that in case the distance of centroid is h by 3 from base. So therefore from apex it is 2h by 3. From this apex or from other apex, they are h by 3 and 2h by 3 and 2b by 3. One part from base, if it is h by 3, from apex it will be 2h by 3. That we have to remember. So we have found out some right angle triangle of size 60 by 45. So and since it is a right angle triangle, it is b by 3 is 60 by 3 and h by 3 is 45 by 3, that is 20 and 15 we could find out. Similarly, for an isosceles triangle which is standing on its base of 200 and 120, we found out the in horizontal direction it is symmetrical, therefore there is some vertical axis which is dividing into two equal halves, therefore x will be equal to 200 by 2 half and y will be equal to 120 by 3, that is 40. 140 we have got. We have also seen some example with the combination of a rectangle and triangle. That is, we can divide this figure into a rectangle of 60 into 40 and triangle of 60 into 60. Therefore, we have divided this into like two parts and we have found out that centroid lies at 37.14 and 25.14. It is here. And similarly, we can also do it by considering the entire boundary as rectangle and removing this triangle from the rectangle. The results will be same. We have shown that it can be done by a1 plus a1 x1 plus a2 x2 by sigma a, or in the other case that is a1 x1 minus a2 x2 by sigma a. That is, here the area is negative, moment of area is also negative, therefore we have removed from 3,144,000 for 180,000 72,000, so we got these values as 37.14 and 25.71, which is the same result as earlier. Now in this class we will go for some other concept called as the moment of, that is centroids of circles, semicircles and quadrants. Centroids, semicircles and quadrants. Here, if we look at the first figure, it is a circle. The circle is a symmetrical body. That is, the vertical diameter and horizontal diameter divides the circle into two equal halves. Therefore, the centroid will lie on the meeting point of two axes, that is at horizontally at R and vertically also at R when we consider it in the first quadrant. That is, we are placing the circle in the first quadrant and the origin is 0, 0. Then the centroid will be R in x direction and R in y direction. Therefore, it is R and R from the origin which is taken at the bottom left corner. Similarly, for this semicircle, if we take this corner, that is bottom left corner as the origin, then since it is symmetrical on one axis, that is y axis is dividing that semicircle into two quadrants, therefore the x will be r, that is d by 2, diameter by 2, or two r's are there. This is one radius, this is another radius, so it is dividing the semicircle into two equal halves. Therefore x will be r and y will be 4r by 3 pi. We have to remember this value. That is, the for semicircle and quadrants, the distance of centroid will be, if it is not symmetrical, the semicircles in y direction it will be 4r by 3 pi, and in case of quadrant both x and y will be 4r by 3 pi, that is 4 times radius by 3 into pi. Case 1, we will see one by one these cases. That is the first, the circle. The circle is symmetrical about both axes. The centroid lies on the point where two symmetrical axes meet. Therefore, x and y will be equal to r and r from the origin. We are considering from origin, not from the diameter. If we consider from diameter, horizontal diameter, then the centroid will be r and 0. It may be done. That is, we can also consider this horizontal diameter, starting point of horizontal diameter, that is that point as origin. If we consider that as origin, then x will be r, y will be equal to 0 in the centroid relation. But we normally do not calculate like that. We consider the origin, that the circle is based on is touching both axis, y-axis and z-axis, y-axis and x-axis tangentially. So the centroid will be R and R. Similarly, semicircle is symmetrical about y-axis. The semicircle which we have seen is standing on its base. So in this case, the y-axis is cutting semicircle into two quadrants. Therefore, the x, that is horizontal centroid in horizontal direction, will lie on y-axis, which is the symmetrical axis. Therefore, the y distance will be d by 2 or r, and x distance will be d by 2 or r, and y distance will be 4r by 3 pi, as we discussed earlier. In the case 3, the quadrant, there is a quadrant which is in the first quadrant of the coordinate axis. So therefore it is touching both y-axis and x-axis. Therefore the distance of x from y-axis will be, that is centroidal distance from y-axis will be 4r by 3 pi. Similarly from x-axis it is 4r by 3 pi. Therefore x and y, the centroid will be 4r by 3 pi and another 4r by 3 pi from the basis, from their respective bases. Let us take a small example in which a circle is involved. Because if we know that circle is a symmetrical body, finding the centroid is simple. Suppose if the 40 radius is there, 40 diameter is there, 40 diameter means the center of the circle will lie is our centroid. Therefore, it has the coordinates of 20 and 20 from the origin. So there is nothing much problem in solving such a type of problems. So let us take that a circle is removed from a rectangle of 60 width and or breadth and 80 breadth and 60 height, that is depth. So B is equal to 80, D is equal to 60. Therefore, we can now assume that this entire rectangle is part 1 and the circle which is removed will be part 2. So we are deducting, or we are making an aperture or a hole at the center of the rectangle of diameter 40, that is radius 20. Now if we consider these two figures, as one figure as complete rectangle as the first figure and the circle as the second figure, therefore actually we know by the property of symmetry the centroid lies at 40 and 30, that is x-axis will be 40 because it is 80 and y will be 60 by 2 because it is at the center. The central axis is dividing both the rectangle and the circle along the same straight line. That is, one axis is dividing both the circle and rectangle symmetrically. Therefore, both of them have the same centroid. That means the entire figure is symmetrical about y-axis and also about x-axis. Therefore, we know by observation, that is 30 and 40 will be the 40 and 30 will be the centroid. But we will solve. We will see how to solve the problem. We have seen earlier how to, suppose some part is not there, then we have to remove that area. The sigma A is algebraic sum of areas. So if two areas are added, then we will add. If some area is deducted, that is shown as negative. So the first area is 80 by 60, that is 80 into 60 is 4800. Similarly, the second area is pi r square, that is pi into 400 into 3.14 will give you minus 1256.64 because this area is removed, it is not there in the figure. Therefore, the summation will be 4800 minus 1256 will give you 3543.36. This is the total area of the plane figure. Then for x, for a rectangle, the x is 80 by 2, 80 by 2, that is 40. For this circle, because the circle diameter is 40, here it is 20, here the another 20 is there. So to reach the center, 20 plus 40 by 2, that is x bar. X bar is 20 plus 40 by 2, 40. Similarly, y bar is equal to, this is 60, 40, total height is 60. So 10 plus 40 plus 10 is there. So to reach the center, we have to start from 10 and 40 by 2. That is 10 plus 20, 30. Therefore, finding the moment of areas, that is A into x bar. A is 4800, x bar is 40. So 4800 into 4 is, it is 192,000. 48 into 4, 192. So 192,000. Similarly, 48 into 30 will give you 144,000, 1,44,000 cubic millimeters. Similarly, if we take the second area, that is 1256.64 into centroidal distance is 40. So 1256 into 40 is around 50,024, 50,265. Similarly, the other moment of area is, that is AY is equal to 1256.64 into 30, that is 37,699.11. So if we add this areas, the 4800 minus 1256 will be the sum of the area, the net area. Similarly, the net moment will be 192,000 minus 50,265.48, that is 141.734. And similarly, 144 minus 37, it will give you 106,300. So therefore, now x is equal to, the centroidal distance x is equal to sigma ax by sigma a, that is 141.734.52 divided by 3543.36, that is sigma a. We will get that value as 40 mm. Similarly, if we see 105 by 35 will give you almost 3. So 106 300.89 divided by 35.43 will give you 30 mm. So therefore, we can say that we have verified the problem, that is by initially we know by the property of symmetry the centroid lies at 40 and 30. By solving the problem, actually by analytically we have solved it, and we have proved it that the property of symmetry is correct. That is, in both cases we have the same result, that is 40 and 30. So if we see the figure, the centroidal axis is, from here it is 40, from here it is 30. Therefore, in x direction it is 40, in y direction it is 30. So x and y are 40 and 30 respectively. Let me take another example in which we have a combination of semicircle and a square. There is a square of 60 by 60. On it there is a semicircle. That means the diameter of the semicircle is 60 or radius is 30. We have a semicircle with radius 30, which is attached, which is on the top of a square of 60 into 60 mm. So in this case, this figure can be divided into two parts. That is, the first part is 60 by 60 square, and the second part is the semicircle of radius 30. So here if you see from origin, here if we consider left bottom corner as origin, the square has centroid of 30 and 30. The centroid of semicircle will be from the base, it is, that is r and 4r by 3 pi, that is here it is 30 and it is 12.35. 4r by 3 pi is 12.35. But here if we observe, this r and 4r are 3 pi are from the corner or the starting point of the semicircle, from the, that is left bottom corner of the semicircle, not the origin. Actual origin is we are taking the left bottom corner of the square. So this point is our reference point, the origin. But here these are centroids of their individual components from their left corners, not from the actual origin. Therefore, if you measure, the area of the square is 60 into 60, that is 3600 mm square. And next one is the area is pi r square by 2, because it is semicircle of radius 30. So it is, area is pi r square by 2, that is 1413.72 mm square. Similarly, if you see the x bar of this square is at 30. Similarly, x bar of this semicircle is also at a distance of 30 from this origin. It is x direction. There is a symmetrical axis which is dividing both square and also the semicircle. Therefore, x bar of both will be 30 and 30. So x bar will be 30 and 30. Y bar of square will be 30, that is from the base x-axis, this symmetrical axis is at a distance of 30. But for y of the semicircle, it lies somewhere here, that is, this is 4r by 3 pi, this distance y bar is, but we have to take it from the origin. So we have to add 60 and 4r by 3 pi. Therefore, this value of y for the semicircle is 60 plus 4r by 3 pi, that is equal to 72.73. This value is 72.73. Now, moment of areas will be A into x bar, that is Ax is equal to, or we can say A1 x1 is equal to 3600 into 30, that is 108,000. 3600 into 30 is 108,000. Similarly, the other is 3600 into 30, that is 108,000. Now, this area is 1413.72 into 30, that is almost 14 is 52. 14 is 42. 42 plus 33 is 39. So it is almost 42,411.6. And the other value is 1413 into 72. So it is 102,819.85. Generally, students they got used to calculate using the calculator, but sometimes while pressing the keys we may commit some mistake. So we have to check it through our mathematical knowledge, which we simple multiplication from our earlier classes. That is, we know these values, so we know the rough approximate values. So we can just verify that our calculation with using the calculator with the normal our experience, that is by multiplying mentally the values. So it is 14,1473, that is 1413 into 72. So it should be around 1,02,000. So actual value is 1,02,1819.85. So that we should keep in mind that sometimes we may, while pressing, we may add one more zero, or we may just miss one zero. So just you have to check the value mentally. Wherever it is possible, every time it may not be possible, but wherever it is possible, rough figure we can arrive using our mental capacity. Then we can check it, verify with the answer with the calculator. So now here it is 3,600 plus 1,400, that is 50,000, 5,000 something, 5,013.72. This value is 3,600 plus 1,400, 5,013.72. This similarly here 108 plus 42, 150, 411.6. This value. Similarly here it is 108 plus 102, 220. I mean 28, 210, 819.8. So these are the values. Therefore, sigma AX is 1,50,411.6. AY is 2,10,819.85. Therefore, X bar is equal to sigma X by sigma A, that is 1,50,411.6 by 5,013, that is 150,000 by 50,000, that is around 30. We got exactly 30. Similarly, sigma AY by sigma A, that is 2,10,000 by 5,000, let us suppose. Then the value will be 42,000. So roughly 42. So here 2,10,081.819.85 divided by 5,013.72 will be 42.0848. That is, we can say 42.05. These are the values of centroidal distance, that is 30 and 42. Let us say 42.05 is, let us say it is 42. So therefore, in the figure, if you see this value, this will be this centroid will be 30 in this direction and 42 in this direction, that is, this total is 60. Therefore here it is 30, 3/4 will be 45. Therefore we can simply assume that this is 45, 42. We have not actually measured, but simply to show it is not to scale, the figure is not to scale, but our indication is almost, we are putting it exactly, that is 42.42 is somewhere 3/4 of this 60, that is nearly it is 45. So we have seen it is only between 30 and 60, nearly halfway between 30 and 60. That is why this should be the centroid of the composite figure, which has a square and also a semicircle above that square. Now let us see an example in which we have a quadrant. This is a figure, composite figure, that means this figure is like that, like this. this actual figure is, this is the actual figure, that is it has height of 60 and width of 60. There is a quadrant, a curve starting from half here to half here. This is a circular curve, so it forms a quadrant. So now we can draw this figure, we can show this figure or divide this figure into three parts like this. That is one part of 60 into 30, the other part of square 30 into 30, and a quadrant of radius r, that is 30. Here the figure is divided into three parts, that is rectangle of 60 into 30 at the base and square at the left side and a quadrant of radius 30 in the right side. So this forms the entire figure. Sorry. Now, since we have three different areas, we add these three areas. We find the moment of these three areas about x-axis. We find the moment of areas about y-axis. We add them, and therefore we get x bar is equal to sigma ax by sigma a, and y bar is equal to sigma ay by sigma a. So again we are tabulating the values. Here the area of this first rectangle is 60 into 30, that is 1800 square millimeters. Similarly, the centroid of this rectangle will be, in x direction it will be 60 by 2, that is 30. Similarly, in y direction it is 30 by 2, it will be 15. For the second, for this square, we know the centroid lies at 15 and 15 from the base. So if you consider from this y-axis, it is abutting the y-axis, therefore the x bar will be 30 by 2, but y bar is here somewhere above the rectangle, therefore we have to take 30, the height of rectangle, plus half of the height of square, that is 30 plus 30 by 2, that is 45. We got the 45 as total distance of y bar from the base, that is the origin, 0, 0. That is our every time many times I am repeating that our origin is with respect to the left bottom corner. We are placing the figure in the first quadrant. Therefore, that is also, as far as possible, all the figures are touching the x-axis and y-axis, that is touching the origin. The corner will be, the left bottom corner will be on the origin, that is at 0, 0. Therefore, the square will be having x bar at 15, y bar at 45. That is the centroid of the square part will be at 15 and 45 from the origin. Similarly, if we see this quadrant has centroid from its corner, from its bottom, as 4r by 3 pi and 4r by 3 pi. But to reach that 4r by 3 pi, if we start from here, we have to cross 30 plus 4r by 3 pi. Therefore, in the x direction it is 30 plus 4r by 3 pi, that is 30 plus 4r by 3 pi is 4 into 30 by 3, that is 40 by pi, that is 12.73, so 42.73. Similarly, it is for y also 30 plus 4r by 3 pi, that is 42.73. We are finding the moment of areas in x direction. So in x direction, ax, that is for the first figure, this value will be a1 x1, the second figure this value will be a2 x2, the third figure it will be a2 x3. If we sum, it will be sigma ax. Therefore 1800 into 30, 18 3s are 54,000. Similarly, 9000 into 15, 900 into 15, that is 13. 900 into 10 is 9000. 900 into 5 is 4500, so it is 13,500. Similarly 706 into 42, 7 for the 28, so it should be around 30,000, 30,204 and 30,202 or 205 are values. So 18 into 15, 1800 into 15 is 27,900 into 45 is 40,500, and this value 706.85 into 42.73 is 30,205. If we sum them, it is 54,000 plus 13,500, that is 67,500 plus 30,000, 97,500 plus 205, 705.4. Here also it is 27,000 plus 40,500, that is 67,500 plus 97,500 plus 205, 97,705. Coincidentally, these values are same, that is sigma AX and sigma AY are same. Therefore, the centroid will be at the point that is 977 AX. Sigma AX is 97,705.4 by 3,405. So it is 28.68, and also sigma AY by sigma A is 28.68 mm. So these two values are same. That means they are at a distance of 28.68 and 28.68 from the left bottom corner of the entire composite figure. Here if we see, this is the this is the origin. We know it is 28.36, that is just below 30, and also here also it is 28.68, that is near here we can see it is near this point of intersection. Therefore, this point, that arrow is slightly away from the point. This is where the centroid lies, that is at 28.68, 28.68. This is how we find the centroids of the circle, semicircle and a quadrant. Before concluding this session, once again I'll quickly recap what we have done today. Today's class we have taken the centroids of circle, semicircle and a quadrant. So for circle, the centroid lies at R and R, that is at the center of the circle it will be here. So it is, if we take it from the left bottom corner as origin, then the centroid lies at R and R. Similarly, from this corner, semicircle has one axis, one symmetrical axis above y axis. Therefore, x bar will be R and y bar will be 4R by 3 pi. For quadrant, from the base x axis, from x in x direction, the centroid will lie at 4R by 3 pi. Since quadrant is symmetrical about some other axis, that suppose if we draw some 45 degrees angle it is symmetrical. So therefore the centroid is 4r by 3 pi and 4r by 3 pi. If we turn quadrant in any direction, it doesn't matter. So therefore the centroid will be 4r by 3 pi and 4r by 3 pi. We have seen a problem using circle to demonstrate how to find out the centroid of a figure which contains a circle. Therefore, we have taken a rectangular plate of 80 into 60 and we have removed the central portion of area of a circle with radius 20. Therefore, we have calculated the values and we have found out the values are 40 and 30. Initially itself we know the circle is at the center of the rectangle. Therefore, the circle and also the rectangle are having symmetrical axis about the same center. Therefore, we know that the centroid is 40 by 30, but we have proved it by solving the problem. Here we have seen a square and a semicircle. Semicircle above a square. So at the outside itself, we know this one vertical axis is dividing this compound figure into two equal halves about the y-axis. Therefore, the centroid in x direction should be equal to the half of it, that is, it should be 30. But in y direction, we do not know. We have solved for that value. Here, we know initially. So we have found out the areas of the area of the square and area of the semicircle, and we have found out the x bar of the square and y bar of the semicircle. We have found out a moment of areas of square and semicircle separately. We have added them by after adding sigma x by sigma a, the total area we found out, and by dividing the moment of area by area, that is sum of moment of areas by total area, we got the x as 30 and y is equal to 42.048. that is, here it is 30 in x direction and 42 in y direction. Similarly, we have seen another problem which is at the corner of from the center of the square a quadrant is drawn and that extra portion of the square is removed. That means we have a square in which a quadrant is there, the extra portion is not there. So to solve this problem, we have divided the entire area into three parts, that is one rectangle, one square and another quadrant. We have found out x bar of the rectangle, triangle, square and quadrant, and also y bars of rectangle, square and quadrant. So x bar is for rectangle it is 30, for square it is 15. Similarly, for this quadrant is 30 plus 4r by 3 pi. Similarly, in y direction it is x bar for rectangle is 15, for this square is 30 plus 15, for quadrant it is 30 plus 4r by 3 pi. So here we got y bars as 15, 30 plus 30 by 2 45 and 30 plus 4r by 3 pi, so 42.73 and 42.73. We have found out the moment of areas ax and we have summed ax, sigma ax, that is a1 x1 plus a2 x2 plus a3 x3, and also we have found out ay, that is if you consider first figure, this is first figure, so a1 y1, this is second figure, this is a2 y2, so for third figure it is a3 y3. If we add them, we have got 977.97705.4, and for sigma ax also we got the same value. Dividing by the area, we got the centroid as 28.68 and 28.68. So this is how we will solve the problems involving circles, quadrants and semicircles. We can take any number of problems. So similar problems we can invent on our own, or we can see any textbook. So we have several types of such problems. The concept and the way of solving the solution is same. The solution will be similar. It is, we have to find out the centroids of individual parts and find the moment of areas of those parts and add them. By adding the total area, we will get x bar and y bar. But we have to remember that for quadrants it is 4r by 3 pi and 4r by 3 pi from both their bases, and for semicircle it is r and 4r by 3 pi. That is, when the semicircle is horizontal, that is along the horizontal, it is standing on horizontal, then the radius divides it into equal halves. Therefore x bar will be r and y bar will be 4r by 3 pi. So with this I will conclude this session. Hope it is useful for you. You enjoyed this session. Thank you for being with me.